Welcome to the Hampshire 1900 start for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 28th of March 1921, which is about 5 months on from the end of the last part. And in this part, what I want to do is focus back onto the railway, because I want to build some railway infrastructure, because it's going to take a little while to build it, therefore, and I want to have it prepared so that we can start putting together at least some form of railway network by the 1930s, which seems a long way off, but with early starts, it will possibly take that long to build the infrastructure that I want to put in. But before that, a couple of things. First thing, as usual, a big thank you for your comments and feedback. You guys give me a lot to think about. And of course, the second, I'm just going to give you an update of where we are. Now, down here, the road system is and footpaths are nearly finished. And what I've realised is that the main road goes right through the centre of Milford-on-Sea. So what I've done is I've built a kind of bypass up through here to a roundabout here. And what I might do is take off a relief road, which will skip this roundabout. But the other thing I've also noticed is that we've got New Milton here with a full-size train station. So we may kind of put some kind of connecting road up to here, because one thing we may need to do is get this online with a decent connection to here, so that in the future we'll be able to get access to larger vehicles. Unfortunately, it is only a Soviet one, and it's also a possibility that we will need to develop this. Well, it's a certainty actually. We will need to develop this rail connection as well for any exports from the industries we've got in this area. It also opens up the possibility of bringing in the aggregates by train. The only downside is aggregate loading speeds with respect to trains is painfully slow, and higher capacity ships are normally the better option. Also, you can see if we go this way, it will give us a more direct connection to Leamington over here. Now, what we're going to do now is just flip over to Warstock just to show you what's going on here. Things are still trotting along fairly well. Just to show you the harvest, we've still got over 1,000 tons in there with crops. But as you can see here, we are slowly, with the emphasis on slowly, crawling towards getting a gravel industry up here. I think once we got some kind of gravel industry up here ready to go, I think we're probably start to move forward a little bit quicker. One, because the transport distances will be shorter for building our town down in here. The other thing I've also done off camera, if I go to full size, you'll see that there's now an extra major black line on the mini map here. And what I've done off camera, it started as a proof of concept, but then it became a little bit higher than that. And that is that I've put in a major motorway link across the map. Now, from actual gameplay purposes, the contribution of having a major highway running between Warstock and Southampton is not really that practical, but it's a key feature of this area in the current map. The motorway that I've actually represented, it's called the M27, and it kind of runs along the south coast between Portsmouth and Southampton, and then it kind of comes in through here, and there's a bit of an interchange here. And then it runs out this way, and of course it will connect up with Dunbridge here, so that we've still got a connection to here. And then, of course, it crosses the River Test here and goes off into the New Forest. I don't think it gets that far down into the New Forest before it disappears. So eventually what we might do is extend this all the way down. I think it goes through Ringwood, which is over here. So we may kind of extend it eventually all the way across to Ringwood as a bait. So this could be like a cross map connection. But as I say, from an actual gameplay perspective, a massive motorway like that is a little bit impractical, but it might actually serve to connect up some of these different towns here. Now, where we're going to be working in this part is in this area here. But before we do that, I just want to come up and show you here. We've now got our rail construction office here. I've got some coal delivered and some water, and we've got nearly kind of million rubles. So what I'm going to do is we're going to set up our first kind of train or track layer. And let me just well, I don't know why I've got the game on pause. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put a free depot in for a temporary capability. Now, if we come to the custom shed here, what we've got to look at is, because we've got to have a disassembled track layer. Looks like we've got a choice of three. We've got the packet, we got the PK1 and the something Series 3 track builder. You can see these are all non-DLC. Now, if we go to track builders, you can see the packet disappears, but we got the PK1, which is fuel. And this is the one I want. It's 141,000, and it's actually coal-fired. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come in here. We're going to buy this track builder. Now this is a disassembled one. Just make sure. Nope. Disassembled. We've got to buy the right one. Nope. Disassembled, please, game. So we've got to build this one here. Then if we go into here, you can see it's green because it's nice and new. Click on that, and what we've got to find is whether it's going to be carried by open hole. Okay, the Russo bolt will actually carry it. We can use this Russo bolt. So if we well, I can go into here. Actually, just make sure again I get the right Russo bolt. It's this T4065 open. We're going to come into here, make sure we get the open hole. That's dry bulk. Let's just make sure we get the open hole. Okay, I'm just going to buy you. Yeah, as you may guess, I'm a little bit nervous. While that's going, I'll just give you a bit of an update here, because of course we had a major earthquake here. We've rebuilt the buildings that have collapsed. What I have done is I've taken advantage of the fact that the building we had here was not that, was kind of a little bit oversized. So what I've done is, we're just going to do that, is put 2 Jade apartments in. So that means instead of having 100 residents here, we'll have 200. The other thing also is we've got a bit of a perpetual sport problem here. So what I've done is I've put in an athletics club just on that corner, just to top that up, just to give you an idea of we're just on the point now in April of running out of crops here, and we are out of crops here, so we're not getting enough crops to go out. I'm kind of wondering if I can get another medium field here, or actually maybe we can be a bit cheeky here. Is put another big field on the end here, like this, and just allocate you. It might not work, but we'll give it a go. One thing I do want to do is, actually now just noticed, is we're going to put push out that like that, and I'm going to put a gravel connector road across like that. The reason for doing that is that if I put this across here and that gets finished, I can then gravel out these roads without interrupting things too much, because this is a big field, so it'd be a question of the vehicles coming round here to get to here. Because I would really like to try and get all this lot done. Have these all been... these are actually all finished growing in progress. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to make that high priority and see if we can get this built. If it doesn't, we will lose these fields, but that's a chance I'm prepared to take at the moment, so that we can get this kind of sorted out, because I don't think we've got much else going on. But anyway, yeah, I think all we got at the moment is we don't really have that much in the way of road building. We got it down to here. Probably don't need this now. Just tidy up this area here as well. We actually got a proper road connection here running down to this connector here now. As I say, I don't think we've got anything built here for the moment. Hey, suspend. I don't want this built. Not at the moment. Let's make sure it hasn't done anything silly like pick up this bridge over here either. No. Yeah, I want all the road crews in this area for a reason which will become a little bit apparent. Anyway, let's just get back to up here. Our little Russo bolt truck here. You've got to pick up that, and you've got to deliver there. Demolish you. I don't want to leave this dangling. It's just that was just so that the truck didn't have to go all the way down to there. It doesn't cost anything. So, what we want to do is get in here. Is that the truck? Yep. We click on it, you'll see that little package on the back. I think there's an element of when you're kind of moving these early track builders, go there. And what we should get is the track builder into here. You can now go to there as a reserve. And what you'll see now is we got, wow, that's way too big. I'm going to have to reduce that workforce down. I don't want you draining all the workforce out here. We're going to put you down to about 50 workers. We got any buses coming in here? Anyway, we're just going to let that run, because what I want to do now is talk about what's going to be the core of this video. That is that what I want to do in this area is put in three things. We need a rail distribution office, a coal fueling station that isn't actually in line. Originally I was going to put it in line, but I've thought about it and I don't like that idea, because the more I thought about it, the more it didn't seem to fit. But so I want to put in a fuel, a coaling station, a rail distribution office. I want a drop-off point for diesel fuel, and also we need to put a depot in, because I realised that I didn't actually build a depot. I could put one. I did consider building one here, but there's actual getting the backtrack in this area would be a little bit difficult. Oh, we've got our train. First time out of the block here. It's got a full load of coal, but it's not indicating whether it's actually using any water. So we're going to keep an eye on this and see if it actually uses water. And of course you can see it's going to be painfully slow here, because at the moment all we're building with is boards, gravel and steel. But at the moment and this is, I mean, I could get more workforce out here, but I don't at the moment. I'm just going to let the train do its thing. Wow, it's a long train as well. How long's the train? That could be interesting. But then again, we're only going to have the one rail construction train up here. This is just to get things up and running. Eventually, this will all get taken down. And I've also got a demolition here, which I don't need. So, right, back to here. Now, actually, we've got to plan this a little bit. I think what I want to do is we're going to start down here. I'd like it. Could you get under here? Yes, you can. Good. Because what I would like to do, if possible, is come out like that. Now, the reason I'm doing this is that this by doing this, it makes it into a single junction. Where if I put it there, we'd have a little bit of track where we'd have two signals. This way, we can make this into a single signaled junction. And now the distance we're looking at is 100 and so what we're talking about is up close to that, say 200 meters. So what I'm thinking, what we need is a rail distribution office, if I can find it. I think we got that connection there, so on the roads going south. Okay, let me just put that. We'll go that way. Drop you in there. Run you up to there. Now we're going to have to put a crossover in here for two reasons. One, having a crossover makes the actual depot a lot more efficient. Actually, let me just measure something. Oops, cancel. I'm actually going to move the crossover up a little bit. Because you can put the crossover relatively close to the actual rail distribution office, because of course when the train is built, it's built along this section. And then what I want to do is come out of here 157 like that, a little bit further like that. Little bit, we can extend it a smidge more like that. And again, we're going to put a crossover about there. Now, another important thing, the reason you have these crossovers is the fact that when you deliver trucks and even trains to the rail distribution office, the train that does the delivery, if you're not going to leave it in the rail distribution office, needs to be able to return to its original depot. So we've now got a track there, we've got a track there. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the coaling station on this side. In fact, I'm just going to put the road in as, oops, I don't want rail tracks, I want roads, please. I'm going to put you there. Right, so what we're going to do now is come off this side here, and I want to come 100 and about 150 this way, and we're gonna curve out like that, and then like too sharp a turn. Okay. Let me do it this way then. I want to come up here. This is where it could get a little bit complicated. Let me just do that again. Let me just push this out like that. That's a bit better. Actually, an even better solution. And now, so we got a length of track here. This can come up. Let me just measure again. To measure, oops, cancel. So we need to bring in the track. This is 200. So you need to come in roughly about there. And that looks very a lot closer than it. No, we're going to shorten. What I want to do is make absolutely sure a full-length train will fit in between these two junctions. So we're just trim you back a little bit further like that. Something like that. And then again, just going to measure that between there and there. 227, that's be more than enough. And then we got this track coming in here, this track coming in here. That means that the access to the coaling depot will be bilateral. Measure this. Delete that. Now left-hand drive. Yeah, so that means that we've now got, we can put a crossover about there. And then it means that we can come in here, pick up the coaling station. That's the 4 one. And we can put the coalings. I want the coaling station here. We're going to expend the extra track for the coaling station to be about there, which puts it a lot closer to our source of coal. So that's probably a little bit extravagant, but at the moment I'd rather have the link there. So what we've got now is we're just going to accept that. What we got now is a distribution office in here. Now long term, this distribution office will take coal and fuel. So the trains in this distribution office do not need to go there because they will have their own source of coal in here. Let me just show you that. You can see this will hold coal and water, which is one of the reasons why it's actually here. That's not connected. See, that's a little gap here. That's better. One of the reasons why you need to make sure that you got any odd nodes. That looks, I'm not totally happy with that, but got that connection there, that connection in there. This is going to be a possible little issue. Let me just see if I can tidy this up a bit. How's the distance here? Yeah, I didn't consider this. That's 43. This is 148. Right, what we can do is shorten this down a bit. And then like that. I think there's a note, a couple of nodes under there we need to take out. Then this one will be, I think, a little bit shorter than it should be, but no, stop it game. Yeah, this will only be 100 meters. Kind of don't like that. We're going to shorten you up. It's my own fault for actually putting that bridge in. I think we can shorten you back that way. Bring you in like that. Get rid of that node there. And then we'll just recheck this distance. Yeah, we got plenty of space there. That's the main line. That means that this could be a little bit shorter than it should be, but I think that's going to be okay because we shouldn't have that many trains here. Well, what we could do is measure this distance. Thank you, game, because now, see, that's still only 200 that way. I think we can live with this, and then we got, because the train should flow up into here. That means that this has got the capacity to coal a train here that's actually being coaled, one waiting here, and possibly one waiting here, and one waiting here, coming in here. Yeah, I think that will work. And what we're going to do is bring this road out here. We got a little bit of road that can go to there. So we've now got this sorted out. This is a little bit more reliable and stable. Let's just go and see how our wow, our track layer is doing pretty good actually. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, with 12 workers, he's not going to win any awards, but right. So the track layers coming down here. We've got our first connection to here. I don't know what what's the top speed of this thing. Maximum speed 65 kilometers an hour. Okay. Right, so we've got that area here. We've got this being built. Let me just check over here. This guy's going along great. We're on the 22nd of May. I don't think I can sneak in anything else here. We could possibly, can we get a little mud road? Oh, we can get a mud road from there to there, so we can take a chance on that. Again, we'll just say high priority. One thing I will need to do is these are now empty, or as good as empty. Gonna flip you to unload, ready for the next harvest, so we can maximize our crops. And this has been sown. Great. Right, back to here. Now, what we need here is well, we need to make a connection here. Question is, do I come off of here, or do I come off a separate track up this way? Now, there's no reason. We're gonna have to come off here because we're gonna put a depot in. So what we're gonna have to do is, oh wow, you guys are enthusiastic. You're gonna have to come off like that. Yeah, you're too close. Okay. There's a. Just remove that node there. Right, what we're gonna have to do is bring you off like that, and you're gonna have to curve round like that back this way, and that's not connected. And what we need here is a, come on, track coming in here. Now, this track doesn't need to be that important because this is the one that's going to run to the depot. But there is a possibility that we may eventually have a fuel train in here. I would like to measure this. Again, this is going to be cancel. Start there. $117, $143, $178. It's probably going to be a little bit longer than that, but what it means is we need to make you going down a lot further than I was hoping for. Maybe this is overly complicated. I think what we'll do is we'll move you for the moment. Run you down here. What we'll do is we'll put in the fuel depot. So if I go back to here and measure that, that goes to 178 to there. That means we need a crossover there. And then just trim off, cancel, right. Cut these back. Come to here. Now I need about 186 to there, and then what we're going to do here is put in a oil fuel loading unloading just about there. Actually, we're going to push it down a bit further. Again, we're going to be a little bit more extravagant simply because that brings this closer to that road connection. And this has got a crossover there. And then that would be long enough to take a train. That means that we can get 2 fuel trains in here. And that's just right. I'm just going to accept that. You're going to connect these up like that. Got the crossover there. Let me just remeasure this. Apologies that I'm kind of fussing around like this. The reason I'm doing this is simply down to the fact that if we get traffic jams here, this will have long-term consequences for the whole series, because this will be a main line, and we need to have this as efficient as we can get it. What I'm going to do is like put a depot there. You're going to come there, run up to there, a little bit more. No. And I want this junction like that. And you can run to there. We can do this as a combined junction, so we don't need a crossover here. That brings this track down to here. And of course what that means is that we can put the road connections in here. We can put a fuel depot, which we'll do in a little while. Right, that just leaves the dilemma of what we do up here. With respect to, why is that not connected? Don't like that, it's not connecting. Get very suspicious of track that won't actually connect. We may have to redo this. Try again. See, that one won't reconnect. That's no good. Redo this one back into there like that. And then that's better. Wow. Wait, what are you doing down here? Okay, I'm not going to say no. I think we can do it, because all we're going to need here is for you to come off there, run down to there, into there, like that. Connect that up. Connect that up. Because technically this track here will be only needed for trains going to and from the depot. In fact, it could be almost a single line, actually, come to think of it. But then if I put a single line in, this crossover would be invalidated. I think we can afford that. We'll get that here. We got our train building this out. And then eventually we'll build this road out here. Now, the next thing we need to do, and this is going to be very important, is we need pipelines. We're going to drop off 300 tons. Oh, that's a bit close to there. So, actually, can we get a road out here? It'll be close, but it'll be okay. Yep. Good. That means we can then put in Now, when you're planning these fuel depots, be aware that for the rail distribution offices to work properly, this has to have a direct connection to the between the drop-off point and the first initial fuel tanks. So we're gonna have to do something like that. Put something like that, and then we could. Well, I could bring a road out like that. No, yeah, we can put a road there, so we don't really need that clumsy little bit of road there. Then we can bring down a road there, and my instinct is that we've got that there, we've got Southampton there. So now I could build a complicated distribution system, but I think it'd be just simpler to put one of these in. Probably down about here. Like that. Put you about there. Put you there. We go put an underground pipe in there. From there to there. Actually cancel. Put you to one in the center there. You cancel again, sorry. Keep forgetting to use this middle mouse button to short. Oops. We'll get there eventually. Yeah, what you do is if you use the middle mouse button, you can kind of use it to adjust the curve. Oops. So what we got now is we got the ability to bring fuel into here. We've got a depot for the trains, got a rail distribution office, and we have this area here. Now these have got pipeline connections. The one question I've got is if we run water into here, will we need drainage or sewerage? Because we've got this thing up here, which should gravity feed to there and there. But the question is, will that gravity feed? I mean, we've got height here, which is a lot higher than that. I think we're going to give it a go. As you may guess, I'm in fairly kind of uncharted water here. I've got absolutely no idea how well this will actually run. I think that would be far enough. Okay, we're going to go F3. I don't think we really need a big water pipe, do we? We could probably run you down to there. Oh, that's... and run you to there. I mean, if there's any problems, we'll sort it out, because this is the first time ever I've kind of put in a water in. I think from a coaling situation, we've got that connection there, so we don't need to push a road connection out that way. We'll build this road connection in, and then we'll just have to haul the coal down to here. What's the storage like here? I don't really want to commit to building conveyors to bring coal into here unless I have to. Didn't consider this. Yeah, we could literally run a conveyor up to here. The trouble is this doesn't have a conveyor output. Well, I've used the conveyor output there, the one and only. But what we could do is, if push comes to shove and it's not efficient, is we could put an unloading bay there and connect it with conveyors down to here, so the trucks don't have to come all the way round to actually get things done. Anyway, let's have a look at our money. We're still making a bit of cash. Got this here. So we've now got our first major rail, whatever you want to call it here. Got a new vehicle. This is a Stanilets. Okay, Stanilets is a Soviet vehicle. Let me just see. It's probably a bulldozer. It's a 15 bulldozer speed, 15. Now this could be useful. It's expensive, but we could use it to upgrade our road ones. The question's going to be is whether that can actually be carried on the back of a what we call it, on the back of a open hull, because it's very slow and we need to transport it. It's like we've actually got all this sorted. Now we're getting a bit too close now to what I will do is we're kind of reverse that and that, because there's a chance that we may actually expand out here. How flat is this area? It's reasonably flat. There's nothing else out here, but this has potential for another farm should we need it. Whoops. So we might as well do that. How are we doing? I just want to check, because one problem I am starting to get a bit worried about is when these are running on import crops. I think it's, we need to get these guys here. We put one of each on each side. They can do one each, and that, because we've probably got over 21. So we just see, we've got 125 over 21, so that's wasted resource. Now, one thing I will show you is you can see our overall loyalty is now creeped up 2%. That's the average. So if we come into here, and this shows the impact of the overall loyalty. So you can see here, so we've now got an average loyalty of 37%. So what we can do, if we find the schools, actually the universities as well, you're at 35%. Europe, I think we could probably push you to 35%. We've got no new research here. Where's the old school? It's kindergarten. You're at 35%. Is that the only school we got? No, there must be another school around here somewhere. Or do we have an educational problem? I'm a bit worried. Schools. Let me just check. I don't want any. Okay, we got a little school in here. You can go to 35%. This is something that you do need. It's a painful task, but this is something that you do need to do as your loyalty improves, is that your schools and universities need to have the best, because they pass on their loyalty to new workers. So that's something that you do need to kind of work on, and we can get that there, I think. Again, so let me just scoot up to Warstock, and we're just going to see what's the average loyalty here now. You can see it's now creeping up to the high 20s, 30s. So, well, we've got a bit of rebuilding going on here. Got the university here, but no research for the tech university. What I will do is put a medical university into our new town here. Anyway, I'm running out of time on this video, so what we're going to do is just have a quick run round and see how things are going. This guy looks like it's actually got through the entire harvest, which is good. What we do need to do now is start planning out more stuff in this area, which will be the subject of the next part. We got that there, this here. Let me just see, we've now got because I don't want to overload these these construction offices. Let me just see, what are you doing? Yeah, you've got loads, way too much stuff really. You're kind of pushing out, yeah, you're working on that. I think what we're going to do now is just give these a little bit of a nudge, because this is what okay, high priority. What is this? This is the ore processing. Yeah, we need that built now. We've got to really focus now on the this and this and that. The one thing that, oh no, we got this here. We need the ground crew on that. And that. And of course, we also need this finished as well. How's this going? Whoops. Get rid of that. And the contours. See, once we get this is can we push this up a bit? I think we're going to make that high priority as well. See, once we got this working, what we can do then is put in move one of the workers in here, this ground crew. They can get moved up to say about here with an office, so that we can start really pushing out this way. But at the moment we don't want to do that, because it make the journey to the border to pick up stuff even longer. Anyway, we've got mixed waste coming into there. And I think just to finish off, something which I haven't done for quite some time is if we show wear and tear, tire map. Ignore all the reds, because these are buildings that are across the map we can't get to. You can see our building maintenance is good. We're running at 30%. Let's have a look at our wear and tear. We got a couple of vehicles running at 50%. I think I'm going to reduce you to 48 repairs. That's going to cause a mini surge, but it's split between Warstock and Eastleigh, because what I want to do is start reducing this down. And just to show you also, you can see that we are replacing vehicles here. What I need to do is get out the remaining wagons from Warstock. Let me just see, horse-drawn. Where are you? You're in Eastleigh. You're Eastleigh Exports. So this is going to be a little bit of a tedious process. We've got a 2-horse. You're in Emsworth. Fuel distribution. Okay. But you're distributing crops, but I want to get rid of the crops, so we can leave these for the moment, because eventually we will get rid of the crop. Actually, just see how many vehicles we've got in here which are still horse-drawn. Right, according to this, we've got a paver. That seems suspiciously. And we got a waste truck. Where are you? Oh yeah. Okay. Let me just double check this. because if this is what I think it is, oops, wrong one, sorry. Horse drawn, push it to 3,000. Some reason it thinks that the paver, these are horse drawn. Not so, but they're not really. They're actually the paver. Okay, so we're now got to the point where we're going to take a chance. I mean, I could always fix it if necessary. Where was that? Gonna get rid of you. Actually pick you up, and I think, and it's this one, isn't it? We're gonna send you both to over here. Let me just get here. You can go there. That means that we're just come back to here. Where's the border post here? This can't now. Just see if we've got any more in here. Okay, we've got a steam covered hole here. Oiler. Okay, so we've got coverage at the moment, although I think we're going to take a chance. We're going to remove the feeding station. We're going to remove... These guys are actually going in here because they're picking up fuel. I'm going to remove you. Gas station, fire station, oil station, large farm, gas station free. Where's that free gas station? Oh, it's out there. That's okay. So I think we can start by demolishing you. We've got crops in here, but it doesn't really make any difference. We can remove the fuel distribution from there. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of this because, and yeah, I think we're going to, though we bring hazardous waste up to here, it will contaminate it. Okay, I'm going to concede defeat. We're going to put, where are you? I'm going to put you back on there for the moment. Anyway, guys, I'm getting distracted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort this out off camera, because basically what I'm going to do is set this exclusively to hazardous waste. So you're going to become hazardous waste only. Custom shed, waste dump, medium, Emsworth incinerator plant. So this is now functioning. We'll leave that there. The only difference is what I'm going to need to do is buy waste truck with all this lot. Oh, it's terrible. Go to this depot here. Buy a waste truck. Buy a very quick Russo bolt. And what we'll do is we'll put the Russo bolt here. And that what that does now, and it's quite a major step forward in the sense that we've now, how can you put it? We've now removed horse-drawn vehicles from here, so effectively we've got no fuel costs now. Beyond the fact that we've got to run, I think what I might do here when this is finally built, and we've got the rail construction office in here, what we'll probably do is, depending on how long it takes, but I think what we will do is maybe go with this thing, the PK1, which I think we can get as a disassembled. Just make sure, because sometimes these won't actually do it. Where's disassembled? Yeah, we got the PK1 here. And what we'll do is we'll actually do a comparison between the diesel powered one and the steam powered one, which is going over here. I think these guys are having a whale of a time with their track building. Anyway, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.